Here in my garage, just got my brand new TV. But you know what I like better than this TV? Knowledge. That's why I got this bookshelf with all these shoes in it. I wear a new pair of shoes every day. Like the billionaire Warren Buffett said, you wear shoes, you eat food. And that's why I keep this TV here as a reminder that anything is possible. Just the other day, I was watching TV in a store. I didn't even have my own TV, and now I have this $1 million TV, and it's all thanks to knowledge.
Well guys, it seems like this year a public figure is getting exposed every other day for being inappropriate with a very specific vulnerable group member of society. It's the theme of the year at this point cause the first half just ended and I can't count how many exposés there have been about this. I guess we will have to call Cat Williams a prophet cause he was very on point with his viral interview at the start of the year.
Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all.
So the recent individual to join the list of creeps is Eva Tyson. They were an integral part of the MrBeast team and they appeared in almost all of his videos. Them and MrBeast go way back as they were childhood friends and he's been there throughout the rise of MrBeast as the most popular YouTube creator of all time. Chris or Eva was well liked by the MrBeast fans cause he brought some personality in the videos. Despite his many strengths, MrBeast can be an introverted and low energy type of guy, but he could count on Chris and his other friends such as Carr and Chandler to bring the energy in the videos, and you can make a case that Chris was one of the major factors that contributed to the success of the MrBeast channel. Last year, Chris made a controversial decision to switch genders and started taking hormones for that. This had mixed reception with the MrBeast fan base, as he was previously known as a Christian husband who had recently become a father. Many people called it a selfish move, which didn't take into consideration his family, especially his very young son. But MrBeast and many other people stood next to him and supported his decision. Chris stated that despite this change, nothing was going to change his relationship with his son and he was going to still be there for him. Up until that point, the MrBeast channel had not been in any controversy of any kind. Jimmy aka MrBeast made sure that his channel was strictly entertainment and family friendly with no specific opinions, dramas or political ideas. His image was squeaky clean, but with this new controversy it was no longer the case since people had different opinions on the matter. So despite him showing support to Chris started to appear less and less in the MrBeast videos, leading people to speculate that it was due to that recent change. So recently some allegations have come to light adding to the drama. And before I continue, I would just like to clarify that all of them are not yet 100% confirmed. I divided them into two categories. The first allegation have very damning evidence that are pretty much confirmed right now. And the second one are very serious, but they have some gray areas and speculations with numerous and credible sources. But they still make sense since they are tied to the first ones. Another thing I would like to say is that these have nothing to do with the fact that he's now trans or non-binary. They more have to do with him as a person and his past action before his transition. So now that's out of the way, let's talk about the first allegations. So the first allegation were first brought up in this video by this YouTuber. They linked him to this controversial graphic artist called Shadman. This guy was known to draw what we call lollies. If you don't know what that means, it's a good thing, believe me. It's a good sign that you haven't been infected with the internet degeneracy. But what they are is that they refer to anime or cartoon characters with childlike appearance, but they are not necessarily children. You can take Mai from Dragon Ball for example, or that fairy from the 7 Deadly Sins. So what Shadman would do is that he will draw those characters in a sexually explicit manner and sell those artwork, if you can call them that, online. Sometimes he would also go as far as to draw real life children in that manner. One of those cases was when he drew YouTuber Kimstar's daughter who was 7 years at the time. So basically what this guy did was CP disguised as art. I'm only scratching the surface of what this guy has done online, but with only that you can get the idea of what type of guy he is. So Kris is said to have been his supporter and said to have bought some artwork of that kind from him. You can see one of them hanging here in one of the old MrBeast videos. And he also publicly interacted with him on Twitter and other social media. You can see it from this tweet he posted publicly. So the fact that he saw nothing wrong with publicly admitting to buying this stuff from a guy selling CP like it's a normal thing, it's a crazy and frightening thing. It leads you to imagine what other kind of stuff he might have had on his hard drive that he might not show to the public. Cause if you endorse this kind of stuff publicly, what do you hide? He also posted other times asking Shadman to make artwork of other childlike animated characters such as Beast Boy and this other anime character. So this is some absolutely creepy stuff. You may try to defend him saying he's hurting no one and it's just drawings, but this is how bad things usually start. A thief doesn't begin stealing with like a car or something really big. They begin with small stuff and quickly escalate with big things. In no way should a grown man, because he was 21 at that time, so in no way him buying and consuming this type of stuff should be considered normal. It's absolutely disgusting. So those are the first allegations. The next one are much worse, if you can believe that. They were brought up by this guy called Prism. They alleged that Kris had inappropriate text conversations with a 13-year-old who was affiliated with the MrBeast crew. Apparently this kid worked on the MrBeast gaming channel for some time and they communicated with him via Discord and other text apps. The kid goes by the name LavaGS online, and it is said that at that time he developed a strong connection with Kris to the point where they were having conversations that are really weird for a 20-year-old and a 13-year-old to have.
Kris Tyson reached out to this guy when he was 13 years old. Except the problem with that is Kris Tyson started an online friendship with this guy when he was only 13 years old. Now the problem with that is Kris Tyson was born in July of 1996. LavaGS was born on November 12th, 2003. The problem with that is that there's a 7-year age gap. You are talking to this guy one-on-one, unattended, and you also had made this guy your moderator. You also had sent this guy Snapchats, which by the way were inappropriate. Here we go. So this is the part that is pretty distressing here. He says, I really enjoy playing Fortnite. Would you guys want to watch me stream? And LavaGS says, please stream again. And he says, thanks, Dad. You want to moderate it? And he says, I love to. And I get concerned because this guy that you talk to online, you've been socializing with, you've been playing video games with, he's asking you, Kris, does she know about your hentai addiction? And of course he says, I posted some fire nudes for you, please no share. And this is someone that you're talking to that is 14 years old, that you know is 14, and at the end of the day, you cannot be talking about topics like this with someone that is this young. And right here, look at this, he says, lol, I just saw, hold up, I got you, Dad. So again, this guy who's 14 is calling him big boy. Kris is calling him dad. They're sending kissy faces. They're sending winky faces. And the premise is he's sending nudes basically.
Now the kid in question, who is 20 years old now, has come out and said that there was no inappropriate situation or action between him and Kris. And also that people are misconstructing the information. But it's well known that sometimes a victim is unable to recognize what happened to them if it has to do with someone who they admired or looked up to. So you may take it as you may. I personally think this looks like that Dr. Disrespect situation which happened a few weeks ago. You can say that these conversations are just edgy jokes or banter, but when you take into account the previous allegations and put this on top, it looks really bad. Some previous members of the MrBeast squad started speaking out on the situation. This man known as Jack the Viking, who was once a regular in the MrBeast videos, tweeted on X saying Jimmy knew, implying that MrBeast was aware of Kris's behavior. He also tweeted this, I know the LavaGS they are mentioning in the video, this ain't good for Beast. And then responded to a tweet saying, while we are at it, Kris should tell everyone how old the girl was he was snapping that sent him his first pair of Gucci slides. There's also this guy who allegedly worked for MrBeast a while ago this year. and he had some serious things to say also.
I'm outside Mr. Beast's studio right now. Here's a cornfield. I'll explain that tomorrow. I've just been driving by looking to see, is there an FBI raid going on? What's happening? My name's Dawson. I worked at Mr. Beast from February to May of this year, 2024. Chris is the tip of the iceberg. And when Jake the Viking says, Mr. Beast knew, yeah, Mr. Beast knew. I heard many times that Ava Kris Tyson is a major liability, but they can't get rid of her because she's already threatened legal action and she knows too much. And when all this information comes out about everything that she knew, everything other people know, I promise you on everything Mr. Beast is done.
So if there is any validity to this is some really serious stuff that would have massive consequences on the YouTube ecosystem as a whole. Mr. Beast is by far the most popular creator and brand on the platform. If he was to be exposed for some serious misbehavior, it would be total chaos. There were also other individuals who came out and accused him of having more inappropriate conversation with them when they were not of age or so. They have text proof, but this could easily be fake, so I'm not gonna go through them or talk about this for now. But if it is proven to be true, it would be pretty damaging on the Mr. Beast brand. So after all this, Eva Tyson has responded by releasing a tweet apologizing for his past behavior and saying he's no longer part of the Mr. Beast team. It seems like here Mr. Beast decided to distance himself from the obvious brand disaster that Chris has become. The tweet reads, "I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health." So here people are obviously unsatisfied with this response since he addresses none of the allegations. He doesn't address what's true or what's not. There are numerous pretty serious stuff here, and at this point Mr. Beast will have to come out and address it cause some of the allegations have to do with his brand and workplace. So that's where the situation is right now. We will have to wait and see what's next. So as I was editing this, Mr. Beast just put out a statement saying, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegation of Eva Tyson's behavior online and I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Eva from the company, my channel, and my association with Mr. Beast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further action based on their findings." So I think it's safe to say that Kris Tyson's career is pretty much over. I don't see him coming back from this. The Shadman stuff are enough to sink him, but if the other allegations are proved to somehow have any validity to them, this would be really damaging to not only him but the whole Mr. Beast brand. I'm pretty sure Mr. Beast is not really having a good time right now, having to deal with this mess that his friend created. The only thing that Mr. Beast does with his time is only YouTube. Like when he finishes working on one video, he immediately starts working on another, and that's pretty much his life. He does nothing else. That's why I would be pretty much surprised if he would find himself in some type of misbehavior situation. So I think this is a rough patch he's gonna have to go through, but yeah, I'm pretty curious to see where this will lead. But that's it for now. Comment on what you think about this situation. Do you think Chris is innocent? Do you think he's in the wrong here? Do you think it should be considered normal for anyone to consume the type of stuff he was consuming on the internet? I'm also curious to know your opinion on that. So like the video if you like the commentary on this situation, and also consider subscribing for more content, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.